Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to revise the chapter in geography, that is chapter number 3, weather and climate. So already we have idea about this chapter. We have completed this chapter in the classroom also. So let's come and talk about it. Over the course of our lives, we all experience different type of days. There are some days on which we feel hot, some days on which we feel sweaty, and some days on which we feel extremely cold, and so on. We may have also traveled to different places as well and felt warm or cold in the same day or the same month. Rainfall is common on some days and bright sunshine is prevalent on the other days. These daily changing conditions of the atmosphere in an area can be defined as the area's weather. So, what is the meaning of weather? Weather is a state of the atmosphere at a particular time in a particular place. What does it mean? Weather is a state of the atmosphere at a particular time in a particular place. When we talk about the weather, we are referring to the short-term state of the atmosphere that is called cloudiness or precipitation. Temperature and wind constantly influence atmospheric conditions. The directions and velocity of wind, amount of insolation, cloud cover, and the amount of precipitation directly affect both weather and climate of an area. Therefore, these factors are called the elements of weather. The influence of these elements differ from place to place and time to time. Just like weather, climate is an integral part of our life. Climate is defined as a long-term pattern of the weather conditions. We shall read about in the detail. Let's come to the point, that is difference between climate and weather. So, firstly we will talk about climate. So, the average condition, what is the meaning of climate? The average condition expected at a particular place as a long-term pattern, that is called climate. And it is projected by using the sum total of weather statistics over a time block of 30 years. The sum total of weather statistics of a time block of 30 years is an underlying factor. Now, what is the meaning of weather? The condition of an atmosphere at a particular point of time over a few hours to a few days is called a weather. It is projected by gathering data related to meteorology like humidity, temperature of the air, pressure, solar radiation, speed of wind, and its directions. So, timely measurement of pressure of atmosphere, speed and direction of wind, rainfall, humidity, overcast, and other varying factors form the underlying factors, and it is all about weather. So, now what are the causes behind weather? We know that the earth is tilted and spherical in shape, and it revolves around the sun. Due to this, insolation received from the sun varies and results in a change of seasons. We have learned that weather is the total sum of all elements like temperature, wind, rainfall, air pressure, and sunshine. They all vary with place and time. These weather phenomena takes place in troposphere that surrounds the earth. Different parts of earth receive different amount of sunlight, which causes the warming of the surrounding air. Air becomes lighter and rises upward, and when heated up, this upward movement of air creates a vacuum, and that area is called a low pressure area. Air from nearby regions rush to fill this gap, which cause wind. The air that goes up in the atmosphere expands after attaining a certain height, and this expansion makes it cooler. Cool air becomes heavy and starts sinking downwards. This sinking air increases the air pressure of the region where it descends. This is called high pressure area. This cyclic movement of rising and sinking air is called convection current. Convection currents can cause change in weather over a small distances. For example, at the seashore or in a valley, these currents also occur over a large area where huge amount of air moves and creates different weather patterns. So, what are the elements of the weather? There are a number of elements which make up weather. They are listed. First is temperature. Temperature refers to hot or cold the atmosphere is. It is measured in degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit with a thermometer. When discussing the temperature of various areas, it is important to understand the following terms. First is diurnal temperature range. What does it mean? It is the difference between the highest temperature and lowest temperature in a day. It is also known as the daily temperature range. We call it diurnal temperature range. Second is annual temperature range. It is the difference between the average temperature of the hottest and coldest month in a year. There are some factors that influence the temperature of an area. First is what? Latitude. So latitude, what does it mean? Higher latitude that are closer to the poles are generally colder than the lower latitudes that are closer to the equator. Latitudes, when we move from the low altitude areas to high altitude areas, the temperature decreases. Hence, hill stations are cooler than plains. In the atmosphere, after every increase in height of 165 meter, 1 degree Celsius temperature decreases. This is known as a normal lapse rate. Next factor is distance from the sea. Places located near the sea enjoy the moderate temperatures throughout the year because of the effects of land and sea breeze, while places located away from it experience extreme temperature. Hence, Goa enjoys milder temperature as compared to Delhi. Next factor is direction of winds. Winds that are coming from the warmer regions increase the temperature, whereas the winds coming from colder region decrease the temperature. A good example is Loo, which is a hot wind blowing from the desert of Rajasthan toward the Ganga plains that causes severe heat waves. Next factor is ocean currents. When ocean currents are warm, the temperature increases, and when the ocean current is cold, it lowers the temperature in the coastal areas. The Norwegian coast experiences an ice-free winter because of the warm North Atlantic drift. So next factor of weather is sunshine. Sunshine refers to direct sunlight. It is measured in hours. The instrument used to determine the amount of sunshine experienced in an area in a day is a Campbell-Stokes sunshine recorder. We call it what? Campbell-Stokes sunshine recorder. Next factor of the weather is precipitation. Precipitation refers to the various ways in which water falls from the atmosphere to the ground. This includes rain, snow, sleet and hail. Frost and dew are also form of precipitation that occurs in low temperature areas. Next factor is rain. It is a source of fresh water on the earth. It is liquid form of water which falls on the earth in a form of droplets. When they are heavy enough, they fall due to the earth's gravity. Rainfall is measured in millimeters using a rain gauge. In some areas, rainfall is seasonal, while in others, it rains throughout the year. Next is snow. What is the meaning of snow? A higher altitude areas where the temperature is below the freezing point. The water droplets condense into the solid particles and descend in the form of snow. Next is hail. It occurs when moist air rapidly ascends to the colder layers of the atmosphere, causing water droplets to freeze into ice pellets. Next is frost. It is a thin white layer of ice which is formed outside at night when the air temperature is below the freezing point of water. Next is dew. Small droplets of water that are formed on the surface of object such as grass at night when the temperature is low but not lower than 0 degrees Celsius is known as dew. It is especially found on plants early in the morning. So it was all about the chapter that is your weather and climate. I hope this video will help you to understand the topics clearly. Thank you and have a good day.